It was a whistling time of night that Ichabod heavily hearted a Crescifon pursued his traveling home along. Besides the lofty hills, which rise above Terror Town, and which he had travelled so clearly in the afternoon, the hour was as dismal as himself. Far below him, the tapestry spread its dusky and text waste of olives was here, and there the tall mass asleep right quietly in the acre under the land. In the dead hush of midnight he could even hear the barking of the watchdog from the opposite side of the hush, but it was so vague and faint as only to give his distance from his faithful companion of man. Now and then, too, the long-drawn crowing of cock, accidentally awakened, would sound far, far off. All the stories of ghosts and goblins I had heard in the afternoon now came crowding upon the collection. That night grew darker and darker, and all the stars seemed to sink deeper. And you get the picture, right, guys? As Ichabod pressed his fearful tree, he began to whistle. He thought his whistle was answer. It was but Blanche seeping softly through the dry branches of the person's little needle. He thought he saw something white hanging. About 200 yards from the tree, a small brook crossed the road and ran into the mossy, thick wooded land known by the name of Woody Swamp. A few rough logs lay side by side, served for the birds to eat. On that side of the road were the brook end of the wood, a group of oaks and chestnuts. As he pressed the tree, his heart began to thump. Thump. He summoned up, however, all the resolution, gave his horse half of a score of kicks in the ribs, and attempted to dash swiftly across the bridge. But instead, he started forward and pursued. Old animal made that movement and ran broadside against. And the schoolmaster now bestowed both whip and heel upon the starveling ribs of the old gunpowder, who dashed forward smothering and snarling, but came to stand thus by the bridge, with a suddenness that had nearly set his bridle spotting over his head just at the minute this made a pleasant tramp. By the side of by side, bridge caught the sensitive ear of Ichabod. In the dark shadow of the gloom, the margin of the brook, he beheld something huge. The Ichabod, who had no wellness for the same midnight companion, and bethought himself of the vessels of brown bones which the goblin had said. Now quickened his steer and hoped to leave it behind. The tracer, however, quickened his horse to equal pace. Ichabod pulled up and fell into the rock, thinking lying behind. The others did the same. His heart began to sink within him. He endeavored to resume his palm to the paused tongue. There was something in the mood dogged silence of companion that was mysterious in the party. It was seen for cattle on the mountain rising. Ichabod was so struck and perceived that he was headless, but his horror was still more increased on his over that his head, which so had rested on his shoulders, was carried before him, and upon the other side of his tail. Man, there's a lot to this shit. Woo! And overseas now till him with his hopes that the choice bridge was at hand. The wavering reflection of the silver star on the boots of the book told him that he was not mistaken. He saw the walls of the church dimly glaring under the tree beyond his reconnecting. The place where brown bones, ghostly companion, has disappeared. If I can but we sat bridge, starting about, I am safe. Thus then he heard the black steed panting and blowing close behind him. He even faced, and that he felt his hot breath and all the color kick in the ribs. Old gunpowder sprang upon the bridge. He thundered over the weak planks. He gained the opposite side, and now Ichabod cast a look behind to see if his pursuers so vanished. According to word, a flash of fire burst, just then he saw a goblin rising in his stirrups, a very act of holding his head. Ichabod indeed with the two dogs holding his horrible missile, but too late it encountered his cranium. with the traumatic crest. He was tumbled headlong into the dust, and gunpowder, the black steel, and the galloway passed by the forward. Next morning, the old horse was found without his saddle, and with the bruise under the feet, somebody cropping the grass of his master's gate. Ichabod did not make his appearance at the breakfast dinner came, but no Ichabod. The boys assembled at the schoolhouse and told him about the banks on the book, but no schoolmaster. Hans Van Whipple now began to feel somewhat uneasy about the fate of poor Ichabod and his saddle, and the crowd was set on foot. And after diligently investigate, they came upon the trace of one part of the road leading to the church and found a saddle trap on the door, the tracks of horses' hooves. Was found. Bottom part of the book where the water ran deep. Black was found at the hand of the unfortunate Ichabod, and close beside sat a pumpkin. The book was sourced, but the body of the schoolmaster was not to be discovered. Van Whipple, as executioner of his effects, they considered of 2 swords and a half, 2 stocks, so apparently Ichabod got killed by the headless horseman. Peace out. I hope you all enjoyed that little story of me saying I had to do a little bit fast, so I keep up with the time. But y'all get the story of that I can read. Ichabod Crane, the headless horseman.